We've all heard it before, that self-made millionaires are just, well, smarter than the rest of us. But what if that's completely wrong? What if their real edge has nothing to do with their IQ at all?
Well, check this out. It might actually surprise you. Cognitive studies have found that IQ scores are spread almost identically across every income level. So yeah, that whole idea that the wealthy are all geniuses, it's pretty much a myth. Their IQ is probably about the same as yours.
So, if it's not some kind of super brain power, what's the secret? It really just boils down to a specific way of thinking and a set of powerful habits. And you know what the best part is? These aren't secrets for some exclusive club. They are principles that literally anyone can learn and apply. So today, we're going to break down 6 of them.
All right, first up, the wealthy see time in a totally different light. It's not about just managing your schedule better. It's about fundamentally changing how you value your time, seeing it as your single most critical asset.
Okay, so here's the huge difference. Most of us are on this hamster wheel, right? We trade our time for money. If you want more money, you have to work more hours, but there's always a limit. You eventually run out of time. The wealthy, they flip this whole thing on its head. They use their money to buy back their time, delegating tasks, outsourcing stuff, and then they pour that time they just freed up into building systems that make money for them automatically.
Here's a perfect real-world example. Think about a retired nurse. Instead of just trying to live off her savings, she took her 30 years of expertise and packaged it into YouTube videos teaching basic wound care. Now that one system she built earns her thousands of dollars a month, totally separate from her having to show up and work. That is the mindset in action.
Moving on to secret number 2, and this one has a great analogy. Trying to build any kind of wealth while you're carrying the wrong kind of debt, it's like trying to fill a giant swimming pool while the main drain is wide open. Seriously, just picture that for a second. You can have the hose on full blast, pouring in as much water or money as you possibly can. But if that drain's open, the water level is never, ever going to rise. For most people, that drain is high-interest consumer debt. And just how big is that drain? Well, a 22% interest rate on a credit card isn't just a small fee. It's a guaranteed massive loss that no investment on earth can reliably outperform. Sure, the wealthy might use low-interest debt to their advantage, but they avoid this kind of financial anchor like the plague.
So how do you actually plug the drain? You use a clear, super effective plan like the avalanche method. It's simple. You list out all your debts, you attack the one with the highest interest rate with every spare dollar you have, and once it's gone, you take that entire payment and roll it onto the next one. It is the fastest, most mathematically efficient way to get out of debt and finally start filling your pool.
Okay, secret number 3 is all about psychology. It's about building a defense mechanism against our own worst enemy when the market goes crazy, our own panic. I mean, just look at the market crash back in March 2020. Stocks were plummeting. And what did most individual investors do? They panicked. They sold everything at the bottom and locked in massive losses. Meanwhile, institutions and the wealthy, for the most part, they held on. Many of them even bought more. Now, the key difference wasn't that they were more disciplined. It was that they had a cash buffer.
Having a cash buffer literally eliminates the need to sell your investments at the absolute worst possible time. It's your psychological safety net. And here are some pretty simple guidelines to follow. Aim for about 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses if you're in your 20s, and try to build that up to 9 or even 12 months as your responsibilities grow later in life.
So where do you keep this cash? Not in your checking account. And please, definitely not in a standard savings account that earns basically nothing. This money belongs in a high-yield savings account. It's safe, it's liquid so you can get to it quickly, and it's actually earning a decent return while it's just sitting there waiting for an emergency. All right, let's keep going. Secret number 4 is maybe the simplest one on this list, but it's also the hardest one for people to actually stick with. It's all about embracing the incredible power of getting rich slowly. This conversation pretty much says it all. The average investor is constantly messing with their own portfolio. They buy high when they're excited, they sell low when they're scared. This behavioral gap, as they call it, costs them tens of thousands of dollars over a lifetime, all because they don't have the patience to just let compounding do its incredible magic. This number is it's mind-blowing. A staggering 97% of Warren Buffett's entire net worth was earned after he turned 65. Think about that. That's the unbelievable power of decades of uninterrupted compounding. His greatest secret weapon wasn't just being a great stock picker, it was time. So, how do you actually put this into practice? It's really just 2 simple rules. First,
Automate your investments. Set it up so the money is transferred and invested on payday before you even have a chance to touch it. This takes the emotion out of the equation. Second, invest in boring, low-cost index funds. I mean, research shows that over 80% of professional money managers can't even beat the market over 10 years. So what makes you think you can? Now, for a topic that can sometimes feel a little controversial, but it's so important: taxes. The wealthy don't get ahead by breaking the law. They just understand the rules of the game way better than most people do. And let's be crystal clear about this. We are not talking about tax evasion, which is illegal and will get you into a lot of trouble. We are talking about tax optimization, legally using the accounts and the structures that the government itself created to encourage all of us to save and invest for our future.
And what's the easiest, most accessible tool for this? It's your employer's retirement match. If your company offers to match your contributions, that is literally free money. A 50 or 100% match on your money is the highest guaranteed return you will ever find anywhere in finance. Not taking full advantage of it is like just saying no thanks to a pay raise.
And now for our final secret, which might sound a little backwards. Most people think you start giving after you become wealthy. But what if, for many successful people, the act of giving actually came first?
See, this all comes down to your mindset. The act of giving, even when you feel like you don't have much to spare, it forces you to shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. You're basically signaling to your own brain that you have enough, that there's enough to go around. And that shift is powerful, because an abundance mindset is the exact same one that fuels creativity, smart risk-taking, and in the end, wealth creation.
So let's just do a quick recap. These are the 6 principles. Treat time like it's gold. Plug the drain of high-interest debt. Build a cash buffer so you can sleep at night. Get rich slowly and consistently. Play the tax game by the rules, but play it smart. And finally, cultivate a giver's mindset. Look, the challenge here isn't understanding these ideas. They're actually pretty simple. The real challenge is applying them consistently, day after day, year after year. The knowledge is officially yours now. The only question left is, what are you going to do with it?